All right, let's move on to Microsoft. I was going to talk about the One X, but Wombat put something ahead of my...
I didn't put in.
No, I put that.
Oh.
It's been a week now.
Okay.
That Xbox Live has allowed gifting, so I just wanted to hear what all Wombat has gifted so far.
So far, I've gifted nothing. I've also received no gifts.
We'll check back in next week.
But is there something you'd like? Would you like something?
Did you get?
I just remember this was a big feature that you were excited for.
I just thought it was interesting. They're the first home console to have it, and I know Steam's had it for a long time. It's not like it's not newsworthy.
All right. So you didn't get anything either?
No, nor do I expect it. So it's okay.
All right. We'll check in next week.
I'm like, wow.
Wombat's Xbox Gifting Central.
Yeah. So far, nothing.
Gifting report.
I wanted to gift something to CheapyD because you brought it up, but I can't because CheapyD's a jerk who bought Injustice 2 for the wrong console. Otherwise, he'd be playing with Raiden.
Couldn't you just give him $10?
I could give him $10. Next time I see you, Cheapy, I'll give you $10. I think it's only.
Why am I getting $10?
I know. I don't think the character's only $5.
So you can buy some DLC for Injustice.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
Although I was going to use my credit to get some of those new shaders from Injustice 2 because they're pretty sweet looking. That's not true. I'm not going to do that. But they are sweet looking.
All right, let's talk about what everybody wants to hear about, and that's the Xbox One X, a.k.a. Project Scorpio, a.k.a. the 4K Beast.
No one calls it that.
The monster. It's a monster, I heard.
Monster. The big Buddha. No, I don't know.
The public masturbator.
All right, I'll tell you what is good about it.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, I got to give props to Microsoft for making the whole transition from your old Xbox console to your new Xbox console as painless as possible. They really have streamlined this process. All you do, I mean, most people I think are probably using an external drive with their systems already. I was not because I am frugal. And I just delete stuff. So I bought a 4 terabyte hard drive for like $80 or something like that.
Did you get the one from Best Buy?
I forgot. No, I think it was Amazon. I don't know. So formerly of Microsoft, tweeted it out. And then I said if who is like a big computer guy, if he says this is the one to get.
Is it the one? It's the one that just plugs into USB?
Yeah. It's like the size of an iPhone.
Have a power
it's like the size of an iPhone.
Or anything.
Yeah. It's just crazy.
Yeah. Same one. I just bought one of those. From Best Buy this week.
Yeah. So all you have to do is before you get your new system is copy all your games to the external hard drive. And there's even a setting, copy my console settings as well. And there was even a setting to pre-download the 4K content, the title updates for the new system so that when you get the Xbox One X, you just ready to rock already. And all you had to do was just plug in the hard drive before you turn on the system for the first time. And once you do that, it'll say, oh, you want to import your settings. And boom, you're there. You're up and running like so fast. So that was a great experience. The system is, as you know, it's smaller than the One S. It doesn't seem to make any noise as far as I've been able to tell, unlike the PlayStation 4 Pro, which is in the fine Sony tradition of sounding like a vacuum cleaner. It's not as bad as some previous PlayStation consoles, but it's definitely gets agitated when you start playing games. But the real question I think what people want to know is it worth it? Can you really tell a difference over, let's say, a PlayStation 4 Pro or even just a regular Xbox One or PlayStation 4? And the answer is, probably over a regular one you can, but after using a PlayStation 4 Pro for about a year, I guess it came out in November last year, it doesn't, from what I've played so far, it doesn't seem to look any better than what I've already been playing on the Pro. So I fired up Call of Duty, the new Call of Duty game, and I heard that was like amazing looking. Mainly from the people at Microsoft. But I wasn't sure that I had even downloaded the update with the enhanced capabilities. But it turns out there's like a trick that you can do to see if you have the update or not. Did you know that if you hover on a game in My Games and Apps and then push both shoulder buttons and select and start, like a little debug menu pops up, and then it gives you a bunch of information, including if you have Project Scorpio assets or Durango, which is the regular Xbox. Yeah, I mean, some of the textures just didn't look all that 4K to me. It didn't look as impressive as, let's say, Infinite Warfare looked when I saw that for the first time. And maybe that's just because it was sort of the new thing at the time to have like these sort of ultra high definition games. But I don't know. It didn't look that fantastic to me. Assassin's Creed Origin, which I've been playing, I played about an hour and change, hour and a half, 2 hours. Yeah, it looks good. But I was playing with Mrs. Cheapy, and she did not make any comments about how amazing the game looked.
Now, did you rent it from Redbox Assassin's Creed? Okay.
Yes.
So what you should do is rent both versions, the PlayStation 4 version and the Xbox One version, and then compare and contrast.
I honestly don't think it's going to
Digital
look...
Foundry over here?
Yeah.
Right. I can just wait for digital. But it just didn't look like... It looked good. Look, it looks very good, certainly. But I don't know. I think the beginning of the game wasn't that impressive looking. It starts you off like in a sort of like a dark area. But eventually, like it does look good. But I don't...
The thing that's been tempting me is I've seen some of these like screenshots and everything from original Xbox games like Ninja Gaiden.
Okay.
That looks amazing.
Well, you're jumping from 720p to 4K. That's a big jump. But jumping from 1080p or on the PlayStation 4 Pro, usually like 1440p or somewhere between that and 4K, I don't know that you can tell the difference. Now, Wombat told me about this app that you can download called Insects, which is basically a demonstration of 4K and HDR. What it does is it shows you some insects and then will take you like on a tour of 4K. It'll say like, this is not 4K, now it is 4K, and this is no HDR, and here's what it looks like with HDR. And then you can even go and just turn them on and off as you will, so you can see the differences. And while yes, it looked sharper at 4K, it didn't look like, I wasn't like, wow, how did I live without this? It looked like a little sharper. And with the HDR, I know I don't have like the greatest HDR. I probably have the worst HDR. But, I was like, okay, it looks a little better with the HDR. So I don't know. It's hard to say that you should go buy this $500 console right now when there's a lot of the games don't support it yet. And if you already have a PlayStation 4 Pro, I feel like there's really very little reason to jump on this thing at $500. Now, down the
Super
line,
Lucky's Tale.
Super Lucky's Tale. Now, I haven't tried Forza 7 yet, and I have Gears of War 4, but people aren't really looking for that right now. They're looking for the new games. I don't know. I wasn't like super duper impressed. And other than that, it's just an Xbox. I think you can, the other features maybe that are different than the regular Xbox is, I think you can upload 4K content to YouTube, and maybe you can stream at a higher resolution. I'm not sure about that, but
you can eat up your bandwidth faster.
I don't know. I'm not. If you ask me thumbs up or thumbs down on whether you should spend $500 on it, I would say you have to wait. No reason to go in now, really.
Right. I'm gonna buy one of these things, but.
Not at $500.
Yeah, I keep thinking, this every time I see a screenshot, and it's really the older stuff. It's weird. It's like it's the part of me that likes seeing retro games like the best you can see them.
Sure.
And that's more appealing to me than like slightly better looking games that look great already.
Right. Like I didn't see anything that, let's say, looked better than Horizon Zero Dawn yet. And I realized the thing just came out, and
you got to check out
everything.
Forza. I think that's going to be the.
Yeah, I'll buy that for Black Friday. I'm in for Forza for 30
I think
bucks.
that's the one that hopefully makes you go wow.
Yeah.
Although then again, I also realize I don't care what you if you
And at E3, Assassin's Creed was one of the games that they were using to show it off.
Right. I mean, it looks good. Like, don't get me wrong, it looks good, but I don't know how much better it looks than the PlayStation 4 Pro. My guess is that it, unless you're, 3 feet away from a 65-inch TV, I don't know that you're going to be able to tell the difference. And I'm sure most people are sitting, 10 feet or more.
I'm 2 feet away from a 40-inch right now.
Right. But I don't know what the math is on that. I don't know. So far, I'm not that impressed. I will say this that I noticed, and I know that Overwatch does not have any Xbox enhanced things, which makes me wonder if there was a glitch somehow on my old version that I had on my 1S. But I don't know if you remember, but I would complain about how the victory screen looked. Like after you beat a match and all the characters stand there in their victory poses, it always looked very blurry to me and like pixelated. And now it looks fine. But I know that they didn't do anything with it, so I'm not really sure how that happened. But I definitely checked to see, and it does seem to be fixed somehow. Here's some questions about the 1X. At Crosley Color asks, why, when the Xbox One and PlayStation 4 came out, everyone screamed that the Xbox One was not powerful enough. Now that Microsoft has the Xbox One X, people are screaming that it's not needed. Seems like a double standard. I think that the people might have been right, though. I mean, there were noticeable differences between the Xbox One and PS4 multi-platform games. But I mean, not big ones, but small differences, like the resolutions that the games ran at. Because the Xbox One was not as powerful.
They weren't really that noticeable, but that's fine.
Right. I mean, most of the time they do like this adaptive scaling. So when the game needs to have more shit on the screen, it runs at a lower resolution and then amps up when it's not going to chug the game down. But I don't know. Like, it's like, I don't know. There's not much difference between 1440p, which is, what the PlayStation 4 Pro is doing, and 4K or whatever the games are running on the X. It's just, I don't know that you can really just tell the difference. I'm not certain about that. These other questions. Okay, Mr. B151 writes in and says, how long do you think it will be before games won't run good enough on original PS4 and Xbox One? You mean how long before they stop making games for those systems?
I think before there will be an outlier game that's going to come out that's only going to work on the Xbox One X.
But we're years away from that, right?
Are we? That's the question. That's what he's asking.
Well, I think he means it won't run, like it'll be choppy. Like it's going to be running at like 20 something frames per second, whereas on the One X it would be smooth.
And the Pro, I guess.
Right.
I could see like a smaller digital only game that might try that.
I don't think so. I don't think
they'll
just
let
so
them do that.
They won't, but there's just so many vanilla PS4s and Xbox Ones out there.
Is that what I have now?
Good.
I just have a look at that guy with his vanilla consoles.
Well, I mean, I was going to call it garbage consoles. Is that better?
That's probably better. I feel more comfortable being called garbage.
How many Xbox One X's are they going to sell in the next year or two compared to how many regular ones are out there? And I don't know. And I don't know what the numbers are on the Pro. For a time, they were selling like 25% of the systems were Pro systems. I don't know what that number is today, but when the Pro came out, that's what it was. I don't know if that number has gotten lower or higher since then, but I think we have a while until like the prices of those systems come down and they're more widely adopted.
And then the new systems come out.
And is Microsoft going to put out a new system? Is this
Well,
just
I
like
I think they'll come out with a Xbox One X 2.
Triple X? Let's just
Yeah.
skip right to Triple X. Yeah, and everything should be backwards compatible because it's just basically a PC now running a version of Windows. It'll be interesting to see, and let's see if Sony does something like that. Probably not, because
if they keep having everything backwards compatible, we're going to need like a 12 terabyte hard drive at launch.
I mean, hard drives are pretty cheap.
I know,
when you
no,
buy
I
them
know.
separately.
I tease. I would actually be happy with that, but that would be funny. But if everything's backwards compatible, then what? I'm going to be in such a pickle when they come out with that remastered version of Skyrim. Do I get that new version of Skyrim, or should I just be happy with the two versions I already have?
Well, are you going to get the third version when you buy it for
The Switch? If you don't think I haven't thought about it, you would know me very well. I've considered it, but I don't know if I'm gonna. I don't know if I can do it. I don't know if I can really pull that trigger. Maybe when it gets cheap, it would have to be cheap. Oh.
I think that backwards compatibility, when you're selling a brand new console, you're launching a new console, while maybe a lot of people won't actually go back and play those games, it's a good check mark to have on your system because people feel like their investment has been protected and all the games that they've acquired over the years. And it makes buying that, laying out top dollar for the system, which you always do at launch, less painful because you have a whole library of games to play and just like, oh, this company took care of me. So I think it's a good strategy if that indeed is Microsoft's strategy for the next go round, but we'll have to wait and see. It sounds like that's what they're doing.